My dude, like you've had a bit of a journey. Back when you started, how did you decide or make the decision when you want to go professional?
Yeah, it's a good one. I think, it's one of these things. You start out as junior racing and you get like one result and you're like, oh, I'm not bad at this. And then, you kind of turn 18, 19, finish school and you're like, I'll give this a bit more of a crack. I had a 6-month block off uni and just kind of full time for 1 year and started to get some more results. But I think the results were something that came from, I was always had this self-belief in myself that I was going to have a go at this and commit myself fully. And, there's always hard times like when you kind of I think that when you turn about 23, 24, your friends have jobs, they've got money and you're slogging away.
Have fun doing that running and swimming thing.
Yeah,
Man.
and you're not really making much money and you're like, it's pretty tough. But I think it's something I just always believed in myself that I was going to do.
But you started out in AFL, didn't you?
Yeah, I loved footy. Like it was my first sport I loved. And then it was one of these things like kids moved away. Mum didn't want to deal with us on the summer holidays. So she's like, oh, let's get him into sport. And my brother picked tri. And then I'm like, oh, I love this. And like, it just, you spend all day on a bike ride and you're like, this is awesome. Like I can't get like life doesn't get better than this. And then, I fall in love with that. And it's funny. Like I've always had people around who like have made it fun, even though it's just an individual sport. Like it's very social, even though you're the one competing on the day, but there's a kind of a team that's always around you and you just got to love the journey.
And so like, yeah, you were left uni to go after this. All your friends are doing their own thing. And then what was the like, I know you can think, oh, I'm doing okay, but where was the like, nah, I'm going to get pro, or I'm going to at least try to go pro?
2017 would have been the year, like came out, won a World Cup in Mooloolaba, like it was hot. I remember cramping. I was last off the bike. I spent the first 5K catching the front guys because I was walking through transition. Caught them, ran down the hill, thought it was my shadow the whole way down the hill chasing me. I was like, I couldn't even lift up the finish tape. Like had to do the interview sitting down. Like I was just exhausted. But you got that result, and that was like my biggest result at the time. And I was like, oh, I can have a go at this. And then that got me a start at the next competition up in Gold Coast, and I finished 6th against like the best in the world there. And I'm like, oh, hang on here. Like there's something here.
Maybe I'm all right.
Yeah, maybe I'm all right at this. And in that year I finished like 3rd in under 23 world champs against, 2 phenomenal athletes. One went on to be world champion in 2023. And yeah, that was kind of the year that like, I'm like, oh, I can do this. I can make this work.
And then like there's the sick, I'm going to be a pro athlete. And everyone always sees the shiny part of that, right? It's like, cool, you're competing. You get to train all the time. It's fun when you win. You're like, all this cool stuff. But there's a lot of stuff that's fucking hard. What's been the hardest thing about being an athlete full time though?
I think like motivation's something I've never really struggled with because I fucking love it. But it's when you have the bad races and like you spend so much time building towards like this single event and then you have a shit day and you're like, oh, that sucks. That's really, really hard. And then you try and bounce out of it, you like get back to work at training and then you can, you hope it's going to go well, but sometimes like it just doesn't go your way and you have another bad day and, that can quickly kind of roll into a couple months where you're just chopping away, trying everything and you just can't get quite to work race day. And that's, a huge mental challenge. Like, and you start, those little doubts creep in. Like fortunately, like my motivation to train's always there, but like sometimes to race, you're like, oh, because you build it up so much and you kind of start to get not afraid, but like anxious and nervous.
Well, I was just going to ask you because I just had another athlete in this morning, Louis, and a little bit different sport, MMA, but like the fear of when the fight gets announced, and it's not the fear of the other person, but the fear of like the social, like, oh, I'm going to let everyone down, or I'm going to let myself down, I'm going to look silly because I lose, or whatever like that. Like, is that like that anxiety or nervousness that creeps in
I think
for you?
it definitely does creep in because it's all on you. Like, you've got to own it and be okay with that, but there's pressure with that, and your expectations are always going to be the greatest expectations you're ever going to have. And to live up to that sometimes pretty hard.
I think there's something like people forget that like they see, you're sitting third in world rankings at the moment. And then, in the current series, and then 7th overall, like elite, but you're still a human. There's all these feelings that normies feel, you still feel as a top level athlete. How do you deal with that? Like, what's the word? When you lose or the result doesn't go your way, is your thing just to go chip away, keep training, stay in the process? Like, how do you deal with that?
Yeah, I think you kind of summed it up. Like, you're back your process in time after time because it's what gets you the result. Like, I'm, ranked that high and I still had an absolute shocker in Hamburg. Like, just had a...
I was going to ask you about what, because I looked at all your other results for the year so far and I was like, what the fuck was that?
I just forgot how to swim. And like, I've been swimming great. Like, then the next race I come out 7th and I'm 3rd on the bike and it's just like, and that was 2 weeks after. So it was just like, that was all mental. There's no physical element to that. Like, that's all just in your head. And like, you have life stresses that kind of get in your way, and at the point end, like, they take a toll, and sometimes like they get you and you're just like, fuck, I wish I didn't. But like, you can see it coming and you can see it happening and you're just like, man, I let myself down. And, but that's the beauty in sport. Like, 2 weeks later, I'm racing in London in front of like this amazing crowd in this, in the center of the city. It's like pretty cool.
Yeah.
And you have a good day and you're like, oh, it was just like a bad day out and like, that's okay. But like at the moment, you're like, this is the worst thing that's ever happened.
Sucks, man. What's your favorite course when you are traveling? Or anywhere, actually. What's your favorite course?
Oh, I love Hamburg, even though I've never raced well there.
Okay.
It's just like one of the coolest courses in the world. Like, you're racing in the center of the city, like town center, like town hall is where transition is. And you kind of swim in this like lake that's in the town. And you've got to swim through this bridge that's about 40 meters and it's like pitch black. And like the roof's only about 1.5 meters high. And
cool.
The thing is, there's like no cameras in there. So like,
you
sometimes get whaled on a fair bit.
Yeah.
And like, it's like just Saturday afternoon and like everyone's out and about. Like, you have this huge crowd and everyone's just like, oh, check this out. And because you're just racing right in the center of the city. So everyone's like, oh, I'll check this out for an hour. And it's fast, it's furious. It's so much fun, that course. And it's like been there for so long. So it's got so much history behind it. Mate, really special. And like, I love racing in Japan too. Like, it's more just like, I sometimes feel like the country I'm in is what I enjoy most. Like, the race courses can change here and there, but like enjoying the food, the people, that's something I really, savor and appreciate.
What do you do when you're not racing then in the countries? Do you just go and eat?
eat a lot. It's funny. Well, like, between the race, you're either training. So like, you'll go to a base. So I go for Tavorius Gasteiz to make it a bit easier, because if I'm flying from Oz over all the time, you'll be pretty cooked. So stay there, and like, you're legit going there just to train, eat and sleep, like recover at best you can. And like, you go to the cafe and hang out, but it's really there to go to work. But then race week comes around, load comes off. So you have a bit easy week. You have a lot more free time. So, you can kind of, the thing is, you can't even get out and enjoy because you've got to keep your legs fresh for the race. And so it's not till after the race when your legs are cooked that you actually get to enjoy the cities you're in. But you kind of stay in this little bubble and you walk to the local cafes, local restaurants, and you just really embrace it and have fun.
Are you you say cafes, are you a cafe person or a restaurant person more?
Cafe, big time. I think big just like cafe? With endurance sport, like caffeines, like coffee is such a big part of it. Like,
where's it when you're you would have done a fair bit of the world now. Where is the best cafe you've ever been to? Because I do like a brew.
I do like a brew. Each like city kind of has their own, like, there's like little hidden gems all over. Like, you often look for an Australian cafe in most places.
Dude, because Australia, we have the best coffee.
It's so good, yeah.
I'll fight anyone that says any different, that they think, oh no, Italian coffee's shit.
No, it's not. It's not it. It's not it. No, but like, these big cities always have a good cafe there. Like the one in Hamburg we go to called Blanco. The guy's like, I worked in Sydney for 3 years, and you're like, okay, this is going to be good.
Yeah.
Like Japan, really good too. Like, we've got this in Yokohama. There's like this roaster, and he has like probably like 40 different types of beans, and he's got like these flasks and you can try each one. And like he just loves when the triathlon's in town because everyone comes to his store and like has his coffee and he gets so excited. Like he's made like a brew named after one of the athletes, and
Cool.
like fortunately I podiumed there, so he gives me a bag of, like he gave me and Hauser a little bag of beans that he's like, yeah, have this, like, and you're like, "Whoa, this is pretty cool," and like bringing your coffee with you, you're like, this is awesome, and like
Sick.
it's probably the best cafe I've ever been to. Like he just
Okay.
knows his stuff. Oh, I'd have to get it up on my phone.
Okay.
But I'll tell you
no.
later. It's top tier. It's in Chinatown, Yokohama.
All right. Cool. Because we don't go there for doing the tourist thing. We go snowboarding there every year. But like if one year we do the tourist thing and head to Yokohama, I'll be going. Check this shit. Check this dude out. So like I've only done one. I've done a half Ironman. I'm not a distance athlete by any means, but I know that it's a lot of a mental game. And you can set yourself up for a good result, and then it's either you crush it or you blow out. How do you set yourself up, and what determines that at the end, do you think?
It's kind of crazy. Like, I think that's a great example. Like Hamburg to London, like I was like 39th, like 2 minutes down, and just couldn't get anything right. But I was like in great physical shape. And then 2 weeks later in London, like hadn't been able to train much because you're fatigued from racing. So, like, if anything, if fitness has gone down, and then I'm 15 seconds off the podium there. So, like, it really is such a mental game. Like, and I always come back to my processes, like, how do you win? Like, I think it's easy to be like, I want to come first, but it's like, what does it actually take to win the race? Like, there's so many little elements. Like, when you dive in, it's your head position in the swim, you catch, you snap, and it's physical. Like, you're trying to push bodies out. Like, you've got to be really like hyper focused for the time of racing. Cause you kind of let someone, you see him coming up from behind, like side, and you're like, oh, that boy's there. I don't want to let them in because then they're going to push me out. So then you have to surge in the swim and use more energy, but like it saves you energy in the long run. So I think it's such mental, and like it's like when you're under pressure, being able to think so clearly and so focused that you end up saving energy. So when you get to the crunch time, you've got that little bit more than the guy next to you in the finish shoot.
That's really interesting. You say you've got these systems that you put together. Like, I think unless you're an endurance athlete, you wouldn't really understand that's a thing. What's a fucking process that a triathlete has? Like, so you mentioned a couple there in the swim. Like, what about for the bike and the run?
Like, the bike's going to be hard, and like it's so tactical because we're drafting. You're in close quarters, so you're watching wheels. You're making sure you're, limiting. You don't want to be off the back, cutting in the wind. So you're just really conscious, and like London's just a great example because it was on from the gun. Like there was 12 guys rolling as hard as we can because we knew you got the Olympic champ in the group behind. You're like, I don't want him to run against him. Like he's phenomenal, and so you're like, us collectively all decided we're going to ride to keep him out of the race, and it just happens in the instant. Like you see someone miss a wheel, you're like, I'm going to pull a turn here because I think we're close to getting him. Like they're on the edge of breaking because everyone's got about 5 minutes, and so you're having all these thoughts, and you come into the final bit into like transition. It's all about positioning. You don't want to be at the back of the group because then you've got to chase 5 seconds into the first 1K of the run. So you've got to spend so much energy. So it's like positioning well into the corners, like knowing when to make a move up the outside of the group. So you're just looking at all these little details the whole time. Then you get to the run and like, you're like, oh, it's flat out. It's like, yeah, but you've got corners, you've got to make space. It's argy-bargy. So you got to come back, technique, feel. I often come back to like feeling like my breath, like sensing that as like a grounding thing. Cause it's easy to like, when you're under pressure, to kind of panic and you start hurting a bit more and then you kind of lose the group. So I always come back to my breath as like just a little bit of grounding, and you kind of get a bit of tunnel vision when you start to really hurt. And you just kind of focus on the guy in front. You're like, I'm going to just hang on to him for as long as I can. And most of the time that works for me and I enjoy it. But you've got so many things across this time, and like the process is like, it's always coming back to how do I do that? Not I need to do that to win.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the how's a big part.
Mm-hmm. That's so interesting. You talk about you guys all collectively decide that we're going to keep the race, like the champ out, and it's like, you aren't all the team. Like, but in that little moment, it's like, oh, yeah, are we gonna do this? So, like, are you like sort of talking to each other as you're riding along, like some?
No,
stuff?
you can't, because you're like on the limit, like you're just going hard.
But you,
so like
you can kind of just feel like, all right, these guys are like, all right, we're gonna do this. Like, no one's making a move. No one's trying to do some.
You know, we roll off to the front, you flick your elbow, and the guy comes past. You're like, okay, we're good. Like we're on, and like then it's just one after another. You know, in that moment, like the first bit out, I was like, oh, we might be in trouble here, because there's only about 3 of us pulling on the way out. But then, you know, get around the U-turn, and then 4 or 5 guys come past. Like, okay, we're on here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Fuck. Oh, dude. I'm like so G'd up right now. I was like, fuck yeah, this is sick. Oh. So we did touch on it before, but like, yeah, it was all great when you're crushing it.
Yeah.
How do you let go when you're not?
I'm not the best, because sometimes I'm a cranky bastard.
Mm-hmm. Hey, but like, again, we're still human here.
Yeah,
so like,
exactly.
That happens.
Like, in like the standard I set for myself, sometimes like it's just, you know, you set it high and you're going to miss occasionally.
Mm-hmm.
I often give myself a day to just like sit with it and like be sad and mopey, and then the next day I'm like, okay, I got to move on to the next step. Like, what's the next race? What's the next goal? How do I do it? What went wrong? And you got to be really honest with yourself in that reflection. Like, it's easy to be like, I didn't run fast. I need to go run faster. Like, I got to do more running to run faster. It's like, no, like I've been running fine all year. Like, why didn't I run fast here? It's like, oh, I kind of cracked the shits, and I was like, oh, it's just a shit day. And kind of let the day get over yourself, and you're like, oh, you beat yourself up for a day, and then you're like, I'm doing everything right. Like, I just had a mental lapse. Mm-hmm. So, you know, like that's where you come back to your processes, and, you know, and you got to be kind to yourself during those days, because so many athletes like are just so hard on themselves when they have a bad day, and like people are in general. Like, we are human, aren't we? So you got to be kind to yourself. You know, treat yourself. I'll just go, you know, go out for dinner, get a nice dessert, things like that. Just like things where you're like, you probably wouldn't do normally, but you're like, I'm going to look after myself today, and not dwell on it, try and move on. And then when it's time to get back into work and when it's time to look back, you got to be brutally honest with yourself and hold yourself accountable.
Mm-hmm. Do you find that like when you are prepping for races, if you do say you have a shit result, but like, you know, in the back of your head, like, I done everything to prep for this race because like I'm in a really good position, my mental thing, and it just didn't go your way, you're like, I don't feel so bad about it.
No, exactly. Like, I think the race in Italy and Algero this year, like, I did everything to put myself at the front of the race. I was running third, and then my legs just blew up. Like, I just blew up real hard, and I finished 11th, and I was like, oh shit. But, you know, I did everything that I said I was going to try and do to win the race. I just didn't quite have the physical skills on the day. You know, I'd travel from Japan, like, fatigue's an element, and you're okay with that because you've had a go. And that's the biggest thing. I think leaving it all out there will always leave you more satisfied than going out and just having a bad day and giving up. That's always when I'm probably the most disappointed in myself.
Yeah, when you know that, like, fuck, I made a decision that I gave up sort of in some area of that race, and like, I'm the fault, instead of just like, no, look, even though I didn't get the result I wanted, I fucking gunned it the whole way. Yeah. Oh well, gunned it the best I could for as far as I could.
Yeah, and like, at the end of the day, you're racing like the best guys in the world. Like, it's meant to be hard. Like, it's meant to be.
It's just park run.
Local park run.
Yeah. Fuck, man. Do you ever like how buddy, like, do you guys talk about this stuff pre and post or on time off, like in your little circles, of like how you deal with all this, or is it very much a internal thing that you deal with on your own?
I think like a lot of it's with myself, but like, I've got my team, you know, like my coach, sports psych, like, you know, my wife, like these people around me, like, who I've, you know, even old training partners who like kind of mentored me, like whose opinions I really value. Like you'll kind of go chat to them every so often and just reflect and evaluate like what's going on, what's doing working well, what's not. So there's this constant reflection on what's going well, and like I think it's all centered around trying to be the best you can be, you know, like the people like you surround yourself with, like they all want you to do the best you can, and like you want to do the best you can for them, but like also for yourself. And so having this constant reflection gives you the ability to adapt, you know, to race changing. Like the swim is probably something I've always struggled with, even though I forgot how to swim in Hamburg. Like this is like this year is the best I've ever swum in my life. And I'm 29 turning 30. Like it shouldn't happen that way, but we've had a really clear plan from the start of the year, you know, focusing on just improving my technique to be more efficient, because you've got the physical assets, but like water, it's wild, man. Like it's your head position. It's like trying to catch as much physical water as you can with your arms, like under pressure. It's almost like sometimes you got to swim slower to swim faster. It's the biggest one in swimming, and you know, added an extra swim in a week. So I've been swimming 6 times a week as opposed to 5. And you know, you invest all this time and you're like, oh, I hope it works. And then, you know, you see your results and you're like, oh, I'm swimming the best I've ever swum. And you're like, this has worked really well. And so you keep doing that. You're not going to change that because you know it's working for you.
When you, you know, maybe not now because like you would be strong across most fields, but when you were in the early days, what came the most naturally to you? Like were you a runner, a swimmer, or a rider? And which one did you fucking kind of suck or hated the most?
It's funny. It's like I've changed like a lot. Like I didn't start swimming until I started triathlon. And so I was always a pretty good runner. And like I rode, like I was a weird kid, man. I did 100 lap races around my house on a bike. So like when I hopped on a bike, I could ride a bike pretty well straight away. And then, you know, develop as a junior, and like, so I've had to work a lot on my swim. So I spent a lot of time dialing in that swim. And unfortunately the bike kind of paid a price for it. Like you couldn't spend as much time, especially when you go into school. Like it's hard to do. So then, you know, you kind of come out of juniors and I'm just getting whipped on the bike. Like I can run fast, but you're not running fast because you come off the bike and your legs are fried. And so you're like, oh, I've got to go work on the bike. And then you spend, you know, I think one summer I did like 400K weeks on the bike all summer, like for 3 and 4 months. And then the bike got stronger. And then unfortunately your swim goes backwards a bit because they're bit counterintuitive to each other. And so I think you're always just playing this balancing game, trying to even them out. Unfortunately, like I don't really have a weakness like now. And even then, like, you know, the swim would still probably be my biggest weakness, but I'm coming out of the water 7th, 8th with the best guys in the world. Like it's crazy to think I'm like, I still want to get a little bit more out of my swim, you know, and a little bit more out of my run. The bike I'm pretty happy with at the moment, so I can't complain.
Yeah, fuck yeah. I think like, you know, saying that exactly that. You're there's a reason that you're all at the top of your game because you're fucking good at everything. But very rarely is there like an athlete in the multidisciplinary sports that just I dominate every single event. Like every single discipline. Like there's always sort of something. I think one of the ones I did see about that, like, were you ever a CrossFit fan, or did you ever follow it?
No.
There's a guy, Matt Fraser, who he crushed pretty much everything except he was the shit runner. He just fucking sucked. And then the next year, the run event comes out, and you watch him just blow fucking the comp away, and you're like, what the hell? How are we going to beat this guy? And that's what I think he was like CrossFit World Champ then for like 4 or 5. So many years in a row. Because he was one of the dudes that just came out and dominated every single friggin' discipline in the sport.
It's I think he would have been so hungry to improve his run. Like he would have spent so much time, because that's like what all the guys you do in racing. Like it's like, oh, I need to work on this, and they just go head first, like commit themselves to improving that. And you know, there's a reason why like the guys are the best in the world. Like they're just so good at all three consistently. Like there's some crazy runners out there, but you know, you got to be able to swim so fast and ride so fast. Like there's so many different elements to it.
I really enjoy your little like fuel drinks that you when you put it like on your story of like all the different like high calorie drinks or whatever, like to refuel. What is the GOAT around the world? What is the drink?
So it's funny, like there's all these I've got to do it a bit more. I kind of slacked off, haven't I?
I was frothing it. I was like, fuck yeah, I like that. I don't like that one. I'm like, I never thought about that. Like,
No,
I really
yeah.
get a kick out of that.
Yeah, no, I'll bring it back for you.
Yes, please.
Coke, like, around the world's like the best because it's just the same everywhere you go. Like,
Yeah.
it's funny. All these countries have like sugar taxes now. So like all the other drinks have like less sugar or sweeteners, but Coke is just like Coke no matter where you go. Like, it's so good. But still, like, my favorite, like, vanilla Coke, like, just
Really?
goated, yeah. It's got slightly more sugar,
Uh-huh.
so I justified it being better. But it's the best pick-me-up, you know, like, you're out, 4-hour ride, summer hot,
Yep.
you stop in the servo, get a can of Coke, it just,
Yep.
mate, it's rocket fuel. It takes you anywhere you want to go.
Dude, I think that is the universally accepted across anyone that it's hot in summer. I have sweated, whether it's in sport or manual labor or whatever, and you crack an icy cold, full strength Coke.
strength.
Yeah, and you're just like, this is the best thing in the world right now.
No, nothing beats it.
Yeah. So you told me which, like, one of your favorite courses. What's the least favorite and why?
Or my least favorite is probably the ones you get food boys, like water, like you get sick from the water.
What do you mean?
Like, so I did a race in Hong Kong, booked a red eye flight home, like, after the race. So, like, finished the race at, like, 3 p.m, go back, pack, and then everyone got sick from the water. And unfortunately, I got sick on the flight home. But, like, because it's just, like, the water quality testing is always 24 hours behind. So, that's why in Paris, we were delayed a day because they got it down to 6 hours from being able to test and get the results. So we had a 6-hour kind of time zone and they were like, no, E. coli is too high, you can't race. So that's why we got delayed in Paris. Like, the water quality wasn't good enough, but they could see it was clearing because they were testing it so often. Like, they were doing like almost hourly tests and they got the lag time to 6 hours when normally most races is 24 hours. So unfortunately, like, currents change and wash something in that isn't the best for you. So yeah, Hong Kong was probably up there because I just got so sick on the flight home, and I was like, man, that sucks.
That excuse the dumbfounded look on my face, because, like, again, something you don't even think about. I think also being Australian, where, like, water is fine anywhere.
Yeah,
and to think that, so okay, they find the water's not fine. What happens?
They normally are not meant to run the swim, so it becomes a duathlon.
Right.
Is what it's meant to come. But because they've got these, like, lag times, and, like, they want to swim. Like, everyone wants to swim and do the right thing. Like, it's way more fun doing a triathlon than a duathlon. So often, most of the times, like, they can give it the tick, but you won't know until 24 hours if the water was good or bad.
Uh-huh.
And it's no one's fault. Like, it's just the systems in place. But yeah, you kind of, sometimes you swim in places, you're like, oh, this one looks a bit grim. Like, you hop in,
murky.
yeah, you hop in London and the water's green. You're like, oh, don't feel too safe about this one. So you got a can of Coke waiting for you when you finish the swim to try and, like, I think just a placebo, feel whatever's in you that was in there. Yeah, exactly. Like, you just got no idea and you hope for the best. But then you go to other places and, like, there's a lake we swim in China, and, like, you got a chlorine taste because they pump it full of chlorine, and, like, you never get sick from it, and it's awesome.
What?
And then sometimes you'll be swimming in, like, this most beautiful place, and, like, something can just get washed up in that area, and you can, like, I remember in Torrelima, it's like crystal clear water all the day. We went out for a swim, storm came, hadn't rained in months, and then everything just got washed into the water, and, like,
and turned to shit.
I think 2 or 3 of us got sick just from swimming in the water before the race, and you're just like, oh, it sucks. It was crystal clear when we started walking down, and then just a rain shower hits, and all of a sudden you get sick 24 hours after, and you're like, oh, couldn't have done anything there.
All right. I know because you're in it, you probably don't think much of it, but, like, that's just, like, I wouldn't even consider that a thing. What are some other things in triathlon that normies, even if you're into triathlon, you wouldn't consider on the world stage, like shit like that? Is there anything else that comes to mind?
Yeah, it's well, even, like, say in, like, London, the course, like, sometimes you do course a mill and you're doing it at, like, 25k an hour, but then race day you're doing it at 45. So, like, the conditions are so different. So, like, I always think, like, you've got to try and visualize these corners at 45, not just spin around at 25, because there's a big difference between the two. And like, you know, you come in too hot and you slide out and hit the barriers, you can do a fair bit of damage pretty quick. So just gauging the speeds almost we ride. Like when we're racing, like we're going so much faster than you are like in your day to day, and you've got to be really conscious of that speed change. You know, I think Noose is always a good one example. Like you kind of ride the course when the car's on the road, like you don't get a course mill, and then you ride race day. And I think we averaged 47k an hour for the 40k last year. Like, and you're motoring, and you know, we hit this corner and 3 dudes behind me slide out because you're hitting the corner so much faster than you ever hit it before. And it's just all these little things, like just gonna be conscious of, like water quality, and like when it rains, don't swim in the water. Like it's not worth the risk of getting sick.
Yeah.
Like so often, a lot of the times we forego doing swim for mill and just swim in the pool because it's, you know, if you get sick,
just wear it on
exactly,
the day.
Exactly, because it'll come after.
Yeah.
If it's after the race, it's all good. Like, because you can still just go out, absolutely give it your all, and then you'll feel awful for the next 24 hours, and you'll land in Sydney and you call mum and you're like, I don't think I can make it home. And then she's like, oh, just have some lemonade. And then you have lemonade and you're like, oh, I feel great now.
Thanks, Mum. I should just blanket term. What do you want to be remembered for?
I think it's one of those things, like, as I've gotten older through my career, like, I think I've wanted to have more impact on the legacy of the sport. And that's kind of, you know, prompted me to get involved with, like, the athlete committee for World Triathlon. And then, you know, I'm the vice chair of that, which comes with that is a, you know, a seat on the executive board. So I'm actively being involved in decision-making processes that will, you know, leave a legacy for our sport. So like recently, World Triathlon have partnered with T100. And so the series I know today is going to be completely different next year, which is like a lot of athletes, like, you know, I think it's scary, but when you have these conversations with all the people involved, like everyone wants the sport to be better. Like I think, you know, we haven't had a prize money increase for like the last 10 years almost.
Not going to keep up with inflation like that.
Exactly. And like, but like, you know, this, you know, thing that's going on is like, there's potential for that to grow now.
Sick.
And you know, that if there's more money in the sport, there's more athletes that can stay around doing it because, you know, it makes it more feasible. And, you know, then it makes it more competitive and you get a better product. And it's all these little things that add up over time. And you look back and you're like, that's pretty cool. Like seeing how my sport's grown. And I think like we're kind of seeing it now with like how many people are getting into running now. Like, and it's awesome to see because it's like growing up, you'd never see this hype around running. Like you were kind of the weird kid going out running.
Yeah.
Where like now it's so mainstream. It's like, oh, cool, you run.
It's funny that it's like humans literally evolved to run and then we forgot how to do it and went and lifted weights. Oh, have you tried running? No. No,
but like it's awesome to see that. And, you know, yeah, I think just wanting to leave like the sport in a better place is something that I really want to achieve and look back on and being like, oh, that was pretty cool that I was able to do that.
Dude, that's sick. I love that. Fuck, that's such a good answer. You did say something there though. Yes. I'm going to have a conversation with an ex-Olympian in a couple of weeks. But just our brief convo about like, especially at the start, you're poor. Like you gotta, well, not everyone, I shouldn't say that, but like you gotta fend for yourself. And sometimes you gotta either work or go into debt or whatever it is to fund your sport. Do you have any stories about that for yourself or ways that you think, ways that you see young athletes doing that and different ways that they could do it differently if you were to go back and do it again?
Yeah, it's really hard. Like I think I was really fortunate, sometimes probably too fortunate. Like I kind of made just enough that I didn't need to justify getting a part-time job. Those kind of formative years. But it's probably something I look back and I wish I probably had just to have that bit more financial security because, you know, you can be out running and you put your foot in a hole and you roll your ankle and you can't compete how you wanted to and that knocks you out for 4 months. Like we're not on a salary. You know, we do start poor because especially in triathlon, like it's such a, endurance sports take time to develop as athletes.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't have quite the money that cycling does, because cycling's starting to have the money behind it, where like kids are getting signed and they can live off that alone and they can commit fully from a really young age.
Mm-hmm.
But triathlon's not there yet, and it might be. I'm hoping it gets there sooner, but early on, like it was. You do a race and you win $1,500 and you're like, oh, that's awesome. Like that trip didn't cost me anything.
Yeah. But still can't eat next week.
Yeah. And like, so you live at home and kind of be a burden on your family.
Dude, no, see, but, okay. You know what? That's a good point. You say that, the money that you made sustained you, right?
Yeah.
But so you lived at home, right? You made decisions that you lived below your means. You didn't have to so that you could fully focus on fucking this thing.
No, definitely. Like you were like, I want to do, this is the one thing I want to do. Like, and that's where I think I think it's easy when you're 18 to 19 because all your friends are at uni. Like everyone around you's got no money.
Mm-hmm.
It's when it's like everyone finishes uni, they start getting jobs and you're like, I've still got no money. And then they start to get a bit of money and you're like, oh. And it gets to a point like I was, into 2024, like I was broke, like having to ask mum and dad like to help pay for these trips to go race, and it was all into the Olympics, and it was like if I didn't go to the Olympics I was gonna have to go get an office job probably. And but they backed me, I backed myself to get it done, and like I just kept chipping at it, like, and that was with COVID in the middle of it too, where like you used to go into Europe every year to race this series,
even
and
more uncertainty.
Yeah, and so like you have this like 3-year block of where you haven't raced on the international circuit, but all the guys in Europe have been still racing.
Mm-hmm.
And so you come out and you get your ass handed to you the first few times, and then like you're like, oh man, I've got to kind of adapt really quick here and get on top of it. Unfortunately, like it worked out. Like I got the results, and when you get the results, you get the money, and life just becomes easier when you're not dirt poor at 26, 27. And then, but yeah, I wish I probably looking back had like a bit of a part-time job just to have a bit more income stability, because it's, you can be out riding and some guy cuts you off and you hit the deck and you can break your collarbone and be out for 4 to 6 months. Like it's just so much uncertainty, and I think it's really important to just have that kind of side gig to, when you have something happen, you've got something where you can save up money, so when you're good to go again, you're in a better financial spot.
Just something to keep you afloat, or like that. So not complete safety blanket, but yeah, absolutely. What are you working on at the moment? What's for what's next?
What's next? World Champs is the big one.
Yeah.
World Champs and Jersey Super Tri. Really cool race in Jersey. It's like the biggest single day payday ever in triathlon.
Explain.
It's so in the Jersey, the Isle of Jersey, so part of the UK, the grand final there. So I did a race in the UK to qualify in Blenheim. To qualify for this final, it's like, I think like 20, 25 dudes racing, only pays top 10, and it's like 400,000 US prize money split between the top 10.
Fuck yeah.
And you're like, oh, I can get behind this.
Yeah.
So, it's really cool. Like at the start of the year, I saw this event pop up and I'm like, I'm going to back myself to qualify for that.
Yeah.
And, and it's funny, like I would normally do a Frenchie because that's like, Frenchies, like they have this series and, it's kind of guaranteed income because you get paid kind of start money and, then you get paid a bit more on the results as well. So it's like guaranteed money. I'm like, nah, I'm going to back myself, going to go to Blenheim. Top 3 there qualifies you. I'd raced, I think, 4 times in 3 weeks almost or something. I was pretty gassed. I'm like, got to go here, got to go podium, get on the run and start a group 3. I'm like, sweet, I'm here. Like, finish third. Like, the other boys got me. And I was like, oh, damn, but I did my job. It was one of those days. Got my job done, which now qualifies me for the final. And yeah, it's really cool. Like, to have an opportunity to race like that, it just seems something you would have dreamed of as a kid,
Yeah.
Like, imagine doing that, and yeah, it's just absolutely wild. It's like 100,000 US for the win. I think it's 14,000 US for 10th.
Dude, that's
and then
sick.
if you don't top 10, you don't get anything. So it's like,
but I think that makes it exciting. Like, is there anything besides the prize money and only 25 dudes? What about? Is there anything else exciting about the course, or are they go on with this?
I haven't seen the course yet. Like it's a bit.
Okay.
I'm kind of just in like my base prep phase. Like it's one of these things I'll chase this week into next week, like and really getting over the course dynamics. But I think it's going to be cool. Like you're racing in like the center of town. Like I think it's going to be a fast technical course because, it's just a cool place to be. Water's going to be freezing. But yeah, I can't wait for it. And it's like a perfect prep because like that's 2 weeks, 3 weeks before World Champs in Spain. So it's like really good hit out against half the guys you're going to be racing. And then World Champs is like, another huge day of racing. I'm ranked 4th in the series, like, but that grand final is like a standalone points event. So it's kind of your best 4 scores plus the grand final. So it's one of these things like if the top, you never know, like so many times, like you've been like, oh, this is locked. And then something crazy happens in this race and the world champ comes from left field and you're like, I could not have predicted that coming. So it's all to play for because it's like this standalone race that's just added on. And because it's such a big year, like you just never know what's going to happen. Like so many athletes are pushing to get the best result and sometimes they push too hard. Like I've been a victim of that, you get to that race, you've got nothing left. But yeah, a big month of racing coming up and it's going to be exciting.
Dude, did everything that you said about the Jersey one, I'm like, I don't know if we spoke about it here or when we're downstairs of like the triathlon doesn't have the backing or the excitement behind it like cycling or whatever. More stuff like that.
Yeah, that's exactly. Exciting. That's what you want.
Just do that. Do these little spec events kind of around the ridges to get more people interested in wanting to do it.
Exactly. And like Pontevedra, like I think the race course there is going to be awesome. Like we're racing through Old Town.
Yeah, cool.
And I remember last time I was there, we ran through Old Town and I felt like I was climbing up the Tourmalet in the Tour de France. Like the crowd was just like wall to wall on you.
Oh, sick.
And you're like, and so now we're riding through there too.
Yes.
And so I'm like, oh, this is going to be awesome.
Yes.
And like just some of the shots they're going to get, it's just, it's good for the sport.
Yes, absolutely, man. Oh, fuck. That's so cool. Dude, thanks so much for this. And I will be following that fucking closely. That's awesome, man.
Cheers, bro. Appreciate it.
Cheers, man. Dude, that was great.
Yeah, easy,
thanks
man.
so much for that.
Oh, did you do one this morning too?
Yeah, I'm gassed.
How many are you doing? How many are you pumping out?